Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I will be talking about what happened to JET Program Philippines batch 2020. And if you're interested in this topic, please stay with me until the end of the video because I will also be talking about some pros and cons of being a JET Program participant batch 2020, and I'll be giving you some tips if ever you'll be accepted as one of the participants for the upcoming batches. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So I've made this video in response to several questions that I have been asked about lately, and those are: number 1, where am I now? Number 2 is, have I already departed to Japan? And number 3 is, when will I exactly go there? So number 1, I'm still here in the Philippines, particularly in La Trinidad, Benguet. So as you've seen on my previous videos, I have been very busy featuring some of the famous local spots in my area. So number 2, have I already departed to Japan? The answer is no, obviously. So number 3, when will I exactly go there? And that is something I'm not really sure about. Just to give a very brief background, our batch 2020 was actually given 3 choices whether to depart within 2020, which apparently did not happen. So those who chose the first option was given a tentative date way back November, and then it was postponed to January 10, which was again postponed until further notice. So a lot of us batch 2020 chose this option. We are around 40 something, and here we are still waiting for some updates. Second option is to depart in April 2021, and then the last option is to depart in September 2021 together with the next batch. But still, these are still to be reconfirmed or to be rearranged depending on the situation. So yeah, moving on. Just like what I've said earlier, I'll be talking about some pros and cons. Just a disclaimer, these pros and cons are merely from my observations and also from the feedback of some of my batchmates. So let's start with the pros. Number 1 is we could have better precautionary measures against the pandemic. So I believe that it's better for us to stay here in the Philippines because we are knowledgeable around our area, and if in case we get sick, there are other people that could help us. Unlike when we go abroad and then when we get sick alone, it will be more difficult for us to handle that situation. Number 2 is we get to spend more time with our family, more so that we just celebrated Christmas and New Year. I could have been so sad if I've gone to Japan and celebrated Christmas and New Year alone. So I'm still thankful. Number 3 pros is that you can still finish your contract if you are still employed, so you don't have to worry where to get your next salary. Number 4, you still have time to save for your pocket money. So in my case, I am advised to get 250,000 yen, or equivalent to 115,000 pesos. So I'm still working for that. That's why I am also busy with my online job. Number 5 is very related to me, and that is you can still get married and process all the changes of your documents. So I knew that we were supposed to go to Japan September 2020, but then since it was moved to November, I took that opportunity to get married instead, and then processed all the changes in just 2 weeks. So I got my new passport, new SSS ID, Pag-ibig ID, PhilHealth ID, everything. So yeah, I think that is one of the pros that I can cite. Number 6 is that you still have more time to learn Nihongo if you don't know how to speak the language. So as for me, I still have more time to watch YouTube videos or listen to podcasts. Number 7, our bond as JET program participants became stronger. So from time to time, we exchanged chats, messages, text, emails regarding our departure, and all the more that we talk with each other and know each other. So I also made friends with my batchmates, and I'm so happy. Team Okra. Number 8, we see this situation as a test for our resiliency and patience. So we regard this situation as a training ground for us, especially that we are still here in the Philippines. We have to test our resiliency and patience more so because when we go to Japan, there might be more difficult problems that we have to handle. Number 9, we have more time to practice cooking. So for those who don't know how to cook, we actually take this time, an opportunity to practice our cooking skills and to bond together through cooking food. Alright, so those are the 9 pros that I've cited. Now let's proceed to the cons. So number 1, I believe, is that a lot of us were dismayed because we were expecting to go to Japan in 2020, but still it was moved and it was postponed and it was moved again. So although we are still thankful that we are here in the Philippines amidst the pandemic, we are still upset. We couldn't deny that fact. Number 2, some of us resigned as early as June 2020 in the hopes that we would be going to Japan last year. So yes, that's why we are still contacting each other, recommending each other what job to apply to and the like. So one of my tips for you guys is not to resign unless you already have a placement and unless you already have a flight ticket, or unless you have an idea when exactly will you be going there, because it's really difficult for you to lose a job and wait for another one, and you know that your funds are becoming lesser and lesser. Number 4, our first medical certificates expired because a medical certificate is only valid for 3 months and we needed to acquire another one, and it was really a hassle to retake all the laboratory tests, especially the fecalysis, urinalysis, and the like. What I hate the most when obtaining a medical certificate is going through fecalysis. Let me know down below if you also feel the same. Number 5, processing of visa and POEA employment certificates are never easy, more so for us who are coming from the provinces. Thanks to JICC, they requested to expedite the visas of JET participants, and they also requested POEA regional offices Davao and Cebu to accommodate JET participants too. Number 6, some of us wouldn't be able to maximize 1 year of employment for their first year as an ALT in Japan because of the time span. So just an example, I chose to be in the first batch. So instead of having a 1-year contract, since I was supposed to depart in January 10, my contract for the first year would only last for 7 months. But since my flight date was again postponed, I'm afraid that my contract for my first year would lessen. But still, it depends on what they will be agreeing upon. Number 7, JET program participants batch 2020 wouldn't have in-person pre-departure orientation in Manila, and we wouldn't also have in-person orientation in Tokyo. Everything will be done online and virtually, so we wouldn't have the chance to meet other ALTs from other countries. So those were the 7 cons that I've cited. So anyways, I'm still hoping for the best. We are still praying that this pandemic, this COVID will go away so that everything will go back and fall into right places. If in case I've missed some of the things that you have in mind, just comment down below. I would love to hear what you think are the pros and cons of being a JET participant 2020. Thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if there is still some topics that you want me to talk about, just comment down below. And I'll see you again next time. Bye!